right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? Why are you order? Right, now before we start, if any of you think my eye looks a bit funky, that's because it is. Yesterday, I was cleaning with some mold remover and a little tiny droplet flicked in my eye. Oof, that stung. Very painful. I did rinse it out as quick as I could. It's only in there for seconds, but still did the damage. So that's why my eye is looking funky. Don't do that. Wear your protective equipment. Anyway, what have we got today? We've got the XDUOO. Now I think that's how it's pronounced. It could be XDUOO. Okay, I'm not sure. And it's the XA-02 desktop DAC and headphone amplifier. And it's a balanced out on one of the headphone outs. Now, also what we've got is the XQ-50 Pro3 as a bonus, little bonus treat, you know. I'll be going over that a little bit later on in the video. It's good if you're, if your budget's a bit tight or you don't want to spend too much, then maybe this could be for you. Anyway, before we do anything else, let's get it out of the box and see what's in there. Have a look at this. Before we get up close and personal with the amp, let's check out its specifications. Okay, so USB sampling rate is 32-bit up to 384 kilohertz. It can do DSD 64 and 256, MQA meh. Okay, coaxial is 24-bit 192 up to that, and DSD 64 dope. It can support aptX HD and LDAC on Bluetooth. Good to see that. The 6.35 headphone out. This is single-ended, it's not balanced. And the output power is 910 milliwatts into a 32 ohm load. That's not bad. It should power pretty much most headphones. Crosstalk is 71 dB. Signal to noise ratio 119 dB. And total harmonic distortion plus noise 0.002%. As you can see with the 4.4 balanced out, I got quite a bit more power, almost more than double, 2000 milliwatts into a 32 ohm load. So that's going to drive. I can't see many headphones not being able to be powered by this amp using that 4.4 out. Crosstalk is 118 dB, so a lot better than the 6.35 mil. Signal to noise ratio slightly better at 121 dB. And total harmonic distortion plus noise a little bit better again, 0.004%. So new amplifier, nine advantages. Forget about that. DSD, PCM, the DAC chip is the ES9039Q2M, Class A. So it's got a Class A buffer. Now, what I find with Class A is, watt for watt, they tend to be a little bit louder. So if you've got a 30 watt AB, and a 30 watt A, the A would sound slightly louder. They're supposed to give less distortion, but to be fair, when you listen to a Class AB side by side to a Class A, I can't really hear the difference. Maybe some of you can. Let me know in the comments. And apparently, it's not just balanced, it's really balanced. USB DAC, coaxial optical HD Bluetooth. And here it is. Ta-da! Now I quite like the look of it. It might not be to everybody's taste. It's got this grill effect on the front beveled edges here. Is it like a gunmetal, I suppose it is, colour? Anyway, but it seems pretty well made. You know, everything feels pretty tactile on it. Nice. I like it. Anyway, the only downside a little bit, I mean, it's nothing really, but you can't turn it off at the front. The only way to turn it on and off is at the back. Normally you find this button acts as an on-off button, not on this one. So just for you to be aware of. Get it on. Okay. Nice clear screen. Looks pretty good. So on this volume button here, you can also go through all your inputs, optical, blah, 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 Bluetooth in, etc. You got this button here, which you can, if I can get it out, if it works now. Oh, there we go. Right, so you can unpair. So if you go into that and you connect it to something and you want to unpair, you press that now and it'll unpair it, okay? This here, you got your setup and your menu. It's not much, it's just these three settings here. You've got your filters at the top. Now I looked in the manual and it didn't say what these filters were. Normally they say in the manual whether it's slow or fast, roll off, etc. But it didn't say, so I don't know what they are. And again, like with most of these filters on these DACs, I can never hear a difference, so I just leave it on one. Okay, then you got your gain. Now I leave it on low. If you've got some headphones which need a bit more oomph, a bit more power, you can turn the gain to high. But you've got to be careful that you may get a little bit more distortion if you use high gain over low gain. So if your headphones are powered fine, I would leave it on low. Then you've got your bass. I preferred it on. It's just a bit of a bass boost. I left it on because I like the bass boost. I do like a bit of bass, me. The volume has a light on it. It's not a fixed light. So as you turn the volume up, let's get it down. You can see it changing colour. Oh, it's starting to go red. It's saying, hang on a sec. Just be careful, I'm going a bit loud. Oh, hang on. And all of a sudden it goes redder, redder. And you go, stop, what are you doing? You a fool, you idiot, turn it down. So it tells you, way, bit loud that is, mate. Turn it down a little bit. There you go. Then you got your headphone outputs here. You got your 6.33 mil, 6.35 I should say, mil single-ended out, and you got your balanced out. Now I don't have balanced headphones, so I can't take advantage of the balanced out. However, you can still use it with unbalanced headphones. It won't be balanced, but you know, still I think it's better to use the balanced out because it's got a bit more power, a bit more bottom end grunt, you know, a bit more oomph in it. So I prefer to use the 4.4 output. So I bought an adapter 3.5 mil to 4.4, plugged it in, put my headphones in, and I used that over that. I do think, I still think it sounds a little bit better. Maybe it's all on my head. It could be a placebo effect. Anyway, there you go. Right, so how does it sound? Well, I've tested the headphone out, and I compared the headphone out to the SMSL Raw HA1 amplifier plus headphone amp. And sound-wise, there's not a huge difference, you know. I couldn't really tell much of a difference between the sound of them. So acoustically, not a lot of difference. However, the XA-02 puts out a lot more power, especially through the 4.4 balanced. It went a lot louder. So you've got to think of it, if you've got some hard to drive headphones, then maybe you're better off getting the XA-02. But obviously the SMSL HA1 is also a normal amplifier as well as a headphone amplifier. This is a headphone amplifier and DAC only. Okay. But also what I wanted to test is how good the DAC is in it. So I did some critical listening. I thought I've been doing some listening via the headphones and using it as a DAC and whatever. And as a DAC, it performs pretty well. So what I've done a little sound test between the XA-02 and the SMSL Raw DAC 1. Now the Raw DAC 1 I thought was a very decent DAC. Okay, so I've gone from the line outs of each one into my laptop, recorded a track on Audacity, saved it as a WAV file to get the best resolution possible. I know that you're going to get some degradation with YouTube compression, but there we are, okay? Anyway, I'll stop waffling on, okay? Have a listen to this and I'll let you know my opinion following the sound test. Yoink! So, what do you think of that? Well, I'll tell you my opinion. Otherwise, what's the point of me being here, yeah? Not a huge amount of difference, I thought. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I do appreciate your opinions. Well, I thought there wasn't a massive difference. However, if through critical listening, I would say that the SMSL DAC 1 was slightly better. There wasn't much of a difference over the frequency ranges, bass, mid-range and treble, but I did think that the SMSL Raw DAC 1 was a bit more airy, a bit more open, had a slightly bigger soundstage, but I'm talking small amounts here. But again, let me know what you think in the comment section. Anyway, there you go. XA-02 DAC stroke headphone amplifier, very decent. That's come to the end of the video. However, bit of bonus content for you. Oh, bonus content, you know it. So if you've had enough now of me looking at my ugly mug, you can bugger off if you want. So bye. However, if you want to stay tuned for some bonus content, I'm also going to review the XQ-50 Pro 3 sort of headphone Bluetooth converter amp. It's kind of the baby sibling to the XA-02. Anyway, I'll see you in a sec if you're staying here. And here it is, the XQ-50 Pro 3. Now, just be aware, I am filming this on the evening of November the 5th in the UK. And on November the 5th, we celebrate what's called Bonfire Night, where we set off fireworks and light bonfires to commemorate when Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Go figure. I don't know why we commemorate that, but there you go, we do. So if you do hear some fireworks going off in the background, then that's why. Anyway, here it is. So to turn it on, you hold it for 3 seconds. There you go. And to turn it off, you do the same. So it's connected via USB at the moment, and through the USB, you get CD quality, 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz. Via LDAC, I got up to LDAC Bluetooth. I got up to 24-bit 96 kilohertz. I was using LDAC. Now, what bugged me a little bit is when it's not connected to Bluetooth, this light flashes constantly. Now, it says in the manual, you press it twice to get into to connect to Bluetooth and 3 times to disconnect. But if it's doing that, I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't show nothing on the screen. Bit weird. There's a volume there. It also acts as the volume. You've got, it says it's got an EQ. It's a very basic EQ. So you've got game, you can have it off, and movie. Now I actually, pity it hasn't got a music one, which is odd. I suppose they expect you to use the off one for music. But I did think when you're listening to movies, I played a movie on YouTube or played something on YouTube before it with a movie. It does enhance the voices a little bit and deepens the bass. I actually preferred listening to music with movie as well. On game, it seems to take off the top end and sort of push back the mid-range a little bit. And off is just flat across the frequencies. And I actually like I said, movie. On the back, you've got DC 5 volt in, an optical, coaxial, and RCA auxiliary out. So potentially, when I say potentially, you definitely can, okay? If you've got an old amplifier or something like along those lines that doesn't have a Bluetooth connection or even a headphone output, you could use this as just a Bluetooth receiver and connect it to your amplifier, and then you've got a very decent Bluetooth receiver. Now, when it comes to the sound of it, it's compared to my PC, the headphone output sounds better than my PC. Definitely a bit more bottom end grunt, a bit more detail than my PC headphone output. Is it as good as this? No, it isn't. But it's pretty good compared to my PC. It's using the Qualcomm QCC5125 Bluetooth receiver chip, that's Bluetooth 5.1, and you get SBC, AAC, aptX low latency, aptX HD, and LDAC. Sweet! The power output of the headphone is 360 milliwatts. It's all right. I mean, it'll power most average headphones. If you've got some power-hungry headphones, hard-to-drive headphones, probably not recommended for you, but most headphones, it'll drive pretty decently. It's using a Cirrus Logic 43131 DAC chip, which is okay, pretty decent. I think it's getting a bit old, long in the tooth now, but it's a decent chip, it's all right. When it comes to the Bluetooth actually sounded pretty good. When I was listening through the headphones, I thought the sound coming through the Bluetooth of using LDAC sounded better than the PC, personally. But overall, it's a decent little DAC, and on Shenzhen Audio at the moment, it's selling for £70 plus free delivery. So if you want just a Bluetooth receiver, I tell you what, you can't do much wrong with this. Anyway, there you go. There's a little bonus content for you. Wasn't that long, was it? And I'll catch you in the next one.